Hello and welcome to this tutorial for users of Microsoft Word 2016 for the Mac. In this tutorial we're going to look at formatting lists in documents using bullets or numbers. First of all, we'll look at applying bullets in Microsoft Word, and a bullet is simply a small graphic that goes before a list item, and the idea is to make the items in the list stand out from the rest of the document. And you can see I've got a list in this particular document, and I'll just scroll that list up to the top of the page so it's nearer to the toolbars that we'll be using. And the first thing I need to do to apply my bullets is select the list, and so I'm going to click at the beginning of the first line of the list, hold down the shift key and click at the end of the last line, and if you prefer you can select with the mouse. So if I put the mouse pointer to the left of the first item in the list there, click and drag down, we get the same result. And with the list selected, I'm going to come up to the Home tab, and in the center you'll find the paragraph section, and at the top left of the paragraph section we have the button I'm looking for, which is the bullet list button, and if I click on that you will see the bullets are applied. With the list still selected, you can also change the indentation of the bulleted list now, and if I press the tab key you'll see I move to the right, and if I press shift and tab, keyboard shortcut, we move back to the left. You can also use the indentation buttons in the paragraph section, so we have right indentation to increase indent and left indentation of course to decrease, like so. If you don't like the shape of the bullet you can modify that by clicking on the small drop down arrow to the right of the bullet button, and we get a small library of different shapes and styles. So if I'd rather have this arrow shape, for example, simply click to select and the list is immediately updated. There are many more options in terms of bullet styles, and if I again come to the drop down list there on the bullet options, come down to the bottom and choose Define New Bullet, and on the dialog box here what I'm going to do is click on the bullet option, and that brings up a range of fonts that include graphics as part of the font. And you may be familiar with some of these names such as Wingdings, and if I click on the drop down list you'll see more versions of the Wingdings font, and if I scroll up you'll see also Webdings there. And these are basically fonts that contain lots of graphic objects rather than letters and numbers. So I'm just going to press the escape key to cancel that list there. And if I want to preview any of the objects in this list I can click anywhere and you'll get a slightly larger preview of the image, and I can then use the arrow keys on the keyboard just to navigate around and just see if I can find something that I like. So you've got some stars there, and if I come back further up I've got some pointing fingers, so I like that pointing finger there, that rightward pointing hand. If I click OK to select, you'll see it now goes into my bullet character options, and if I click OK again it's added to the list. But for now I think I'll switch back to one of the more basic bullet images, so if I click on the drop down arrow again I'll select that arrow shape. You can also apply different formatting to different levels, and if you look at the list you'll see that the second and third line here, this high definition, professional model and permanent installation, are linked to the first item, the video projector. So it would be better if I actually indented these two items to indicate that they are linked to the first line. And to do that I'm just going to select lines 2 and 3, and I'm going to press the tab key on the keyboard, and that will indent those second and third lines. So I now have a second level bullet, and this is sometimes termed demoting a level. So moving a level to the right is demoting, moving a level to the left is promoting. So for example, if I come to the indentation buttons and click the decrease indentation, I'm effectively promoting those lines to the first level bullet, and by clicking the right pointing or increase indent I'm demoting those to a second level. If you're using these buttons, by the way, you don't need to select the line that you want to demote or promote, you just need to click on it anywhere. So in the case of this third level 1 bullet I'd like to demote that one to a level 2, and so I can simply click anywhere on that line, click the increase indent button, and that again is demoted. If you're going to use the keyboard, the tab key, you must click at the beginning of the line. So if I click at the beginning of the custom built line there, I'd like to demote that one as well. Press the tab key and that also demotes and changes the bullet icon. And finally the residential course, again just click at the beginning of the line, press the tab key to demote that, and remember shift and tab reverses that. You can also set third and fourth and fifth level bullets. So if I repeatedly press the tab key, in this case you will see the bullet icon change as I tab across, and again shift and tab will reverse that, so I'll bring it back to a second level. If you want to change the style of a demoted bullet, so in this case I want to change my level 2 bullets to a different shape, all you need to do is make sure you're clicked on any line containing that bullet shape, go back to the drop down menu again, and then choose whichever you would like to have. So I might choose this diamond shape icon, for example. So if I click on that, you'll see all the level 2 bullets immediately update to reflect that choice. In cases where you want to remove the bullets from the list, you simply again select the list and click the bullet button one more time. And it's basically like a light switch, so click once to turn on, click again to turn off. However, for now I'm going to leave my bullets applied, and I'll just click away anywhere to deselect. In this particular list I could change the order of items and it wouldn't make too much difference. I would still convey the same information. But there are of course some lists where the sequence of events is more important, and in those cases it's better to apply numbers rather than bullet shapes. And we'll look at creating a numbered list next. And if I come up to the window menu, click on the drop down there and switch to project to guide, I've modified this document slightly from how you may have seen it previously and added a list of instructions. And if I again scroll up there so you can see the list of instructions near to the toolbar, you'll notice I've already indented certain lines because they're related to the previous instruction. So I'm going to select the entire list and again come to the paragraph section on the home tab, and you'll find the numbers button to the right of the bullet button, so click on numbers and you'll see those applied. As with bullets, you can also modify the style of your numbered list, and if I come back to the drop down arrow next to the number button there, you'll see a range of options. So for example I could apply Roman numerals. If I click on that option you'll see the impact there. Again come back to that drop down, and I might prefer to have my numbers with a parenthesis to the right of the number, so if I select that option you'll see how that works. And I'd also like to change my second level items, and to do that again I simply need to click anywhere on any one of those second level items, come down to that drop down list of options, and I'm going to choose Roman numerals, and it's the second item here. If you don't see those, by the way, you can come down to define new number format, and in the number style click on the drop down and you can choose whichever style you would like to apply to the selected item. In this case I want the Roman numerals here, so simply select that option, click OK, and those are applied to my numbered list. And again, by indenting right or left you can promote or demote the item. So for example if I click on the increase indent button, you will see that the number format changes as I indent across, and again I'll go back and you can see how it updates as I move it, and finally promote it to level 1, it becomes the first level number format, and I'll put it back where it should be. You can also mix bullet shapes and numbers in a list. So let's say I'd like these two items under instruction number 4 to be bullet shapes rather than Roman numerals. I could select those two lines like so, just click and drag down, and this time come to my bulleted list and maybe choose that diamond shape again, click to select, and so there we have some bullet shapes mixed in with numbers. So that concludes this look at using bullets and numbers with lists in Word documents. I hope you found some things in there that are useful and you can apply to the documents that you're working on. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.